Hello and welcome back to Women's Football Talk, the YouTube channel that brings you all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. And we've had some games this past week in the WSL, and we are just going to have a quick roundup of them games before looking into this weekend's fixtures. But before we go anywhere, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and turn bell notifications on so you never miss a time when I post. So in the WSL we had 4 games on Wednesday evening, starting off at Everton, where they lost 3-0 to Chelsea thanks to Melanie Leopold's, Pernilla Harder and Fran Kirby scoring the goals for Emma Hayes' side. Chelsea were in total control and thoroughly deserved the win in that game. They could have scored more. They did have a penalty early on in the game after just 2 minutes, but Everton goalkeeper Tini Korpela saved it and kept it at 0-0, but then Chelsea did get their goals and looked very comfortable after doing so. Elsewhere at the top of the table, Manchester City kept the pressure on Chelsea by also winning 3-0. This time it was against Bristol City at Twerton Park. Caroline Weir, Ellen White and Sam Mewis header in the 89th minute gave Gareth Taylor's side the 3-0 victory. Although City were 2-0 up by half-time, Bristol City definitely weren't out of it and had a few attempts to get back into the game in the second half, but couldn't find a way past Ellie Roebuck and the Manchester City defence. Brighton and Hove Albion beat Aston Villa 2-0 thanks to an Aileen Whelan and an Anessa Kargman penalty to give Hope Powell's side the 3 points there to give them a bit of leeway between themselves and the lower 4 or 5 teams in the league and move them up to 6th place. And then the final game that has happened, which was probably a very entertaining game, was between West Ham and Birmingham City, which finished 2-2. Emily Murphy and Ruby Mace scored for Birmingham City. Ruby Mace with the last kick of the game as well, and Emily Van Egmond and Katarina Sivkova scoring for West Ham United in a game that was heavily dominated by a lot of fouls that seemed to happen in that game. There was a lot of free kicks being called, and there was obviously the nasty foul between Claudia Walker and one of the West Ham defenders in the incident, which saw a lot of first half stoppage time be required due to injuries. Elsewhere in the WSL, Manchester United play Arsenal later on this evening at 6:30 on BT Sport, so make sure you check out that if you're obviously in the United Kingdom. It's on BT Sport. Elsewhere in the world, you'll be able to watch it on the FA Player. Also this week, Demi Stokes has signed a new contract with Manchester City, and Sandy McKeever has signed a new deal with Everton to stay at their respective clubs for an extended period of time. England have announced their game against Canada will take place next month, and it will be played in Stoke on the 13th of April at the Bet365 Stadium. And they've also announced a friendly against France to take place in Cannes also next month on the 9th of April over in France. So it'll be interesting to see what Hegarisa chooses for her sides. Elsewhere in the world of women's football, this week over in Spain we have action as Eibar host Espanyol, Athletic Club play Valencia, Sporting Huelva play Atletico Madrid, Rayo Vallecano play Barcelona, Real Betis play Granadilla Tenerife, Logroño play Deportivo, Santa Teresa play Madrid CFF, Sociedad play Sevilla, and Real Madrid play Levante. Over in Germany, there's only the 2 games this week as Duisburg play Leverkusen and SGS Essen take on Sand, though there was a couple of games yesterday. Sand played Duisburg and drew 1-1 with Charlotte Luce scoring for Sand and Claire O'Riordan scoring for Duisburg. And the other game saw Werder Bremen beat Freiburg 2-1. Rena Wiechmann and Nina Lucerne scoring for Bremen, while Stephanie Sanders scored for Freiburg. Over in the Netherlands now, PSV beat Ajax 2-1 on Wednesday. Romy Luchtere scoring a brace for PSV, whilst Marjolein van der Bigelaar scored for Ajax, with PSV maintaining their top of the table status by 4 points over FC20. We do have or some games to look forward to this weekend as well. There's Twente versus VV Alkmaar, Heerenveen versus Vol, Excelsior Barendrecht versus Ajax, and Den Haag versus PSV. And finally, in Italy this weekend, as there's no action in Ligue 1 Femini, Roma play Inter Milan, Napoli play Fiorentina, Fiorentina play Juventus, Milan play Empoli Ladies, Bari play Hellas Verona, and San Marino play Sassuolo. So, there are some interesting ties around the world of women's football to look forward to this week. Like I said, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. We'll be back at the start of next week to round up all the fixtures and break down any big news that happens elsewhere in the world of women's football. Until then, make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and we'll